Live from downtown Detroit, home of WDIV and Click on Detroit, Local 4 News at noon starts now.
One nation at home.
Each and every one of us has a critical role to play in stopping the spread and transmission of the virus.
The White House announces new guidelines to crack down on the spread of the virus. But major cities and states like Michigan are going beyond that. Theaters, bars, and casinos all closed. Restaurants limited to carry-out and delivery orders only.
Every time I issue an order this sweeping, that there are ramifications from it. At the end of the day, though, my job is to make sure that I'm doing everything in the best interest of public health. The best science, the best medical expertise is informing all of the work that we're doing.
In the meantime, concerns from DDOT bus drivers on the front lines.
They've already said not more than 10 people in the setting. I carried 75 people at a time on a bus yesterday standing up around me.
Now at noon, how Detroit Mayor Mike Duggan is responding, and we'll also take a look at 2 confirmed cases connected to the auto industry. And the coronavirus pandemic tops our show here now at 1 o'clock. Thank you for joining us. I'm Evrod Kasumi. You just heard the White House said all cities and states should issue restrictions to promote distancing in line with federal guidelines. Officials also just proposed a roughly $850 billion emergency economic stimulus to address the virus threat. President Trump wants the government to send checks to Americans in the next 2 weeks in an effort to curb the economic cost of the coronavirus pandemic. Here's more of what the president just had to say.
We're giving relief to affected industries and small businesses, and we're ensuring that we emerge from this challenge with the prosperous and growing economy, because that's what's going to happen. It's going to pop. One day we'll be standing possibly up here. We'll say, well, we won.
And right now we want to give you a live look at the big board. So far, stocks have been swinging wildly, in fact, as Wall Street struggles to recover from its worst day in more than 30 years. We, of course, will continue to monitor the developments for you on Wall Street. We'll also keep you posted right here on Local 4 and online at clickondetroit.com. But in the meantime, earlier today, President Trump swiped at the Democratic governors of Michigan and New York, even as he sought to project unity with state officials over their handling of the coronavirus. The president's Twitter comments came after Governor Whitmer was interviewed on MSNBC this morning, and here's what she had to say.
Yesterday, the New York Times reported that the president told a group of governors, don't wait for the federal government to get respirators and ventilators. Get them for yourself. What's your reaction to that? Because it's much different than the federal response during Ebola.
Well, this has to be all hands on deck, cutting red tape, moving as quickly as we possibly can, and being aggressive and smart about our reaction. And so to hear the leader of the federal government tell us to work around the federal government because it's too slow is just, it's kind of mind-boggling, to be honest.
Well, it didn't take President Trump very long to react on Twitter soon after that. His response reads, failing Michigan governor must work harder and be much more proactive. We are pushing her to get the job done. I stand with Michigan. Well, Governor Whitmer responded to that tweet, tweeting herself in part, now that I've got your attention, Mr. President, attack tweets won't solve this crisis, but swift and clear guidance, tests, personal protective equipment, and resources would. The governor then went on to list what she's done to stop the virus, even giving specific dates. Meantime, President Trump just clapped back again moments ago during that press conference that you just witnessed.
Watched her on television. She said something that was false, and therefore I did do that. And I will continue to do that. If they're not going to play fair, because, you know, they have the media on their side, I don't. I just have me. And if they're not going to play fair, I'm going to do that. If they are going to play fair, there's going to be nobody better than Donald Trump in terms of bipartisanship.
And so in the meantime, we are tracking more major developments in the coronavirus pandemic. Here are the headlines for you on your Tuesday. Amazon is now accepting only warehouse shipments of cleaning equipment, medical supplies, and household goods to meet the demand. This year's Kentucky Derby is being postponed because of the coronavirus. The 146th run for the Roses will take place on September 5th, the Saturday of Labor Day weekend. And in the meantime, there have been more than 4,500 confirmed cases across the U.S. so far, but the true number of cases is likely to be significantly higher. Here in Michigan, there are now 54 confirmed cases, that number increasing by 1 since yesterday. We do have team coverage for you of this pandemic. Our Larry Sproul is standing by for us with a look at how DDOT drivers are responding to this pandemic. Big news coming out of there. But first, let's check in with our Rod Maloney. He's covering 2 cases connected to the auto industry. Rod, what are you learning?
Yeah, you know, Evrod, we've been getting information over the past hour or so that has sort of ramped up this entire story. But let's start with taking a look behind me here, and you can see the Service Pro trucks here. They are here at the Warren Tech Center because they're in here doing deep cleaning and disinfecting that has been invoked by General Motors, because this morning they did announce that they did have a confirmed case of coronavirus by one of the workers inside the Tech Center. Now, let's give you the little detailed information about it. It is not the main building here at the Tech Center. It's going to be the brown building just to the other side, which is known as the Cole Technical Center. And the person who has actually been tested positive for coronavirus worked in that building. But let's give you the graphic here, the full screen, to tell you exactly what we know about this person. It was a male, and he tested positive last night, but he had been working from home because on Friday they invoked the work, away from your workplace protocol. And so now the coronavirus cleaning and advisory protocol is in place. And one of the things they're doing is contacting the employees who work with this gentleman to let them know that he had been exposed, so that they can know whether or not they need to be tested. In the meantime, we also heard from Ford Motor Company. They had a similar situation. They're not saying whether it was a male or female, but they are saying that it was a person working in the engineering center. It was Building 5, which is on the Ford campus off of Oakwood, and they too are doing their coronavirus cleaning advisory protocol and talking to people, cleaning up the office building. And the one thing that they did tell us about this particular employee was that he had not been working in the office, even though they went to the protocol on Friday. It turns out he had not been working prior to that because he was not feeling well. And so that's how the car companies right now have started telling us about their employees that have been testing positive. And of course, this is a global problem. And Ford just this afternoon announced that they're going to be shutting down their production in Europe as a result of the coronavirus. But that has caused problems, and we did a piece yesterday about the fact that local auto workers are feeling very uncomfortable in the auto plants about the fact that they're still in the plants when everybody else seems to be at home. And so one of the things that they're saying is that there's going to be a meeting tonight. The UAW wants the plants closed for a couple of weeks, and we'll certainly let you know how that goes in the moments to come. Now, in the meantime, there's a lot of information to be taken away from in terms of transportation. For instance, Larry Sproul is live downtown in Detroit, where the DDOT buses are having issues. Good afternoon, Larry.
Good afternoon, Rod. We are here live at the Rosa Parks Terminal Station, one of the busiest bus stops in the entire city of Detroit. But take a look, as you can see, nothing going on here. No buses, no bus riders. That's because DDOT drivers are saying they have a lot of concerns when it comes to the coronavirus, and they're not driving the buses until those issues are resolved. Things are quiet and empty here at the Rosa Parks Terminal Station in downtown Detroit Tuesday. That's because Detroit Department of Transportation bus drivers are refusing to drive routes due to the coronavirus concerns. Tuesday, we were there as drivers made the stand.
They've already said not more than 10 people in the setting. I carried 75 people at a time on a bus yesterday standing up around me. No hand sanitizer, no gloves from the department.
And drivers say they had enough, but that leaves thousands of riders without transportation. This rider, who we will call Robert, says he's stranded.
Yes, I usually ride the bus every day. I'm trying to go see my sick mother, and ain't no buses running, and that's the only way I can go see my mother, is on the Detroit bus.
Meanwhile, Detroit Mayor Mike Duggan is trying to work on a solution to get things back up and running.
How do we deal with the passengers congested at the front as they put the fares in? How do we deal with the cleaning, and how do we give our drivers appropriate facilities to use the restroom at the end of their routes? And I'm going to go to work on all three.
And so we did talk to transit police, and he tells me that a lot of people are now hopping on these Lime riders, but that leaves a lot of riders without any transportation, how to get to work, how to get home as well. I'm working on that part of the story, all coming up tonight at 5. We're live in downtown Detroit this afternoon. Larry Spruill, Local 4.
Larry, thank you for the update there. Workplace and school closures have already resulted in a severe blood shortage. So the Red Cross is now saying that through March 13th, 46,000 fewer blood donations were collected, and this is all because of canceled blood drives. So healthy people are urged to donate, and as soon as possible at Red Cross collection centers. The Red Cross has increased their already rigorous safety measures to protect the donors. You can go to redcross.org if you would like to make an appointment. Our coronavirus coverage, though, continues in this newscast and always online at clickondetroit.com. There you'll find a list of the school districts that are providing free breakfast and lunch for students, and hospital hotlines that you can call if you are experiencing symptoms of coronavirus. And we do have a quick reminder for you this afternoon about our primetime coronavirus special tonight. Dr. McGeorge is going to be answering your questions. Our Hank Winchester will have a look at some of the scams that you need to watch out for and definitely be aware of. And our Rob Maloney is going to take a look at how the pandemic is impacting your finances. You can join them, as well as Devin Skillian and Kimberly Gill. That is tonight at 8 o'clock. Now, we do want to get you updated on your forecast on the St. Patrick's Day as we take a look outside. Let's check in with meteorologist Brandon Rowe.
Well, happy St. Patrick's Day, everybody. As we get through the day today, it is sort of a tale of two different days. We're in the lower 40s as we speak. The winds picking up a little bit out of the west-southwest, 5 to 15, gusting a little bit stronger than that, so a little chill. But we are going to see some sunshine returning as we look ahead to the mid-afternoon, heading into the lower 50s and looking pretty good. Rain in the 7-day coming up.
Thank you, Brandon. We'll be checking in with you again shortly. Still to come, the coronavirus pandemic has hit Europe especially hard, with the continent now being described as the epicenter of the outbreak. London's mayor is issuing a warning.
It is really, really, really bad. This could be catastrophic.
So after the break, we're going to take a deeper look at the impact that is happening overseas.